There must be a bug or something going around in Los Angeles. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that this is the NBA playoffs, right? Aren't we in the middle of the NBA playoffs? The Lakers and the Clippers, they didn't get the memo. That performance last night from Kawhi Leonard and Paul George was absolutely embarrassing. I usually don't overreact to a blowout loss in the NBA playoffs. In a 7-game series, there is bound to be one game that things just don't go your way. Shots aren't falling, your opponent, maybe they're on fire from three, whatever the case may be. Blowout losses in the playoffs are not uncommon. In most cases, there's no need to overreact. There's no need to worry. If you're a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers, it is time to be concerned. That 30-point loss to the Suns Tuesday night was one of the most uninspiring playoff performances I have ever seen, even worse than the Clippers last night. I have been telling you guys for months that the Lakers were in trouble, that they were not going to be able to contend without LeBron James and Anthony Davis being 100% healthy. Not 80%, not 90%. Both LeBron and AD had to be 100% healthy for the Lakers to defend their championship. Back in late March, after LeBron got injured, I told you exactly what was going to happen. With both LeBron and Anthony Davis out, the Lakers were going to start falling in the Western Conference. They had one of the toughest schedules in the month of April. Frank Vogel and Rob Pelinka would panic. They didn't want to fall into the play-in tournament scenario, or worse, out of the playoff picture altogether. And so they would rush LeBron James and Anthony Davis back from their injuries to try and avoid the play-in scenario. I even made the case that the Lakers should just forget about this season. If you can make the playoffs without LeBron and AD, fine. But it was not worth it to rush them back, especially Anthony Davis, whose calf injury is the precursor to a torn Achilles. Long term, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Anthony Davis is already the most fragile player in the NBA. He spends more time in street clothes than he does in his Lakers jersey. If he tears his Achilles, you're looking at him being out all of next season. And with an aging LeBron James, who's going to be 37 in December, Anthony Davis wouldn't be returning to the Lakers lineup until LeBron is damn near 38 years old. I know LeBron is a physical anomaly. I know that. I know he spends millions of dollars every year keeping his body in prime condition. But I have never, in the history of the NBA, I have never seen a player play prime level basketball into his late 30s. Now, fragile Anthony Davis, he's got a groin injury, which again, takes time to heal from. He's not coming back tonight. He's not going to be back from Game 6. I would be surprised if he is. Maybe he will be ready for Game 7. But what is ready really going to entail for Anthony Davis? He's not going to be 100%. He'll be limited in what he can do. The other day I said LeBron can no longer carry a team like he had the ability to do when he was in his prime. I know this series technically is not over, at least on paper. But that point was evident Tuesday night, LeBron not being able to carry a team anymore. If you didn't watch the game, didn't know what the final score was, and you just looked up LeBron's stat line, you'd think he had a pretty good game. 24 points, made 6 threes, 5 boards, 7 assists, 9 of 19 from the field. Not bad, really not bad. But if you watched the game, it looked like the same Lakers that we have seen all season. This team hasn't found a consistent rhythm offensively all year. We have seen this story unfold all year, especially against playoff caliber opponents. The Lakers go on these scoring droughts that seem to last forever. It's even worse when LeBron's playing without Anthony Davis. In the 8 games that LeBron has played without AD this season against playoff opponents, the Lakers are 1-7. They can't win this series without Anthony Davis and a healthy LeBron. It's just that simple. And LeBron, this is not prime LeBron that we're talking about anymore. LeBron James averages 28 points a game during the playoffs for his career. There have been times where he puts up 40, 50 points. This series against the Sun, he hasn't hit 20, or he hasn't hit over 25 yet. LeBron doesn't look 100% healthy to me. This dude is in peak physical condition. And he looked downright exhausted throughout that game Tuesday night. LeBron is tired. The problem with the Lakers, or one of the many problems that the Lakers have right now, they don't have good enough role players. They are desperately missing guys like Rondo, Dwight Howard. Those are two players that you need to win a championship. The Lakers don't have them anymore. Last year, they could bring Rondo in with the second unit, and the drop-off was minimal. Dwight Howard is a shell of the player that he used to be offensively, but defensively, Dwight Howard can still go. He is an elite defender in the paint. He's physical. He can wear your opponent down. The Lakers don't have that anymore. LeBron doesn't have the support that he had last year. Andre Drummond's a good player, but he doesn't fit the Lakers system. When is LeBron James the most effective? When he's driving the paint. When is Anthony Davis most effective? When he's playing in the post. It's kind of hard to do that, both of those things, when Andre Drummond is clogging the paint the entire game. LeBron James is increasingly relying on his jump shot, which has always been one of his weaknesses. He is a streaky shooter. He is not Steph Curry. If Steph Curry wants to throw up 10 threes every game, no one has a problem with that. When LeBron James is doing that, it is a problem. I know he shot 60% from three Tuesday night. Great percentage. Lakers lost by 30 points. I think what the real problem with the Lakers right now, and it's been the same problem all season, this team does not have an identity. I know that's weird and crazy to say about a team led by LeBron James, but the Lakers don't have an identity. Some nights they're a three-point shooting team. Some nights they're a team that wants to play in the paint. Now, to their credit, the Lakers are elite defensively, which is good. That's great. But when you go 4 to 5 minutes each half without being able to score, I don't care how good you are defensively. That level of inconsistency offensively is not sustainable. Teams without an identity usually have one thing in common in the NBA. They lack chemistry. They lack chemistry because there's no cohesion in the locker room. The players don't like playing with each other. That point was made clear with the Lakers Tuesday night in the fourth quarter. LeBron James and Anthony Davis left courtside with about 5 minutes to play in the game. I know at that point that the game was over. The game was over by halftime. But your two star players leaving the team is a bad sign. Frank Vogel tried to excuse it. He tried to cover up for LeBron. LeBron was getting a head start on his treatment, so he will be healthy and ready to go for Game 6. Save it, dude. There's no excusing that. Would 5 minutes extra really help LeBron's treatment? The Lakers, they have no team unity. I rarely agree with Skip Bayless, but he called out LeBron on Twitter for leaving the game early, and he was absolutely right in his point. There's an old saying, we win as a team, we lose as a team. We arrive together as a team, we leave together as a team. There is no team in Los Angeles, with the Lakers or the Clippers. It's two superstars on each roster playing for themselves. That's not sustainable in the NBA playoffs. I think Rob Pelinka is regretting the Anthony Davis trade. Not the acquisition of Anthony Davis. That's not what I'm saying. But he kept the wrong role player. When they were negotiating with the Pelicans, Rob Pelinka, he just had to have Kyle Kuzma. We are not giving up Kyle Kuzma. Take whoever the hell you want. Kyle Kuzma is staying in Los Angeles. It was a mistake then, and they are paying for it now. Kyle Kuzma is averaging 7 points a game in this series. His best game was Game 5. Scored 15 points. But damn near the entire game was garbage time. So I don't really credit him for that. First 2 games of this series, Kyle Kuzma scored 2 points. Not 2 points on average, which is bad enough. He scored 2 points in 2 games. Rob Pelinka kept the wrong role player. Don't you think the Lakers right now could use a Brandon Ingram, a Josh Hart, Alonzo Ball? This series is over. It's over, as long as Chris Paul can stay healthy. Now, he's reportedly ready to go for Game 6 tonight, but the Suns have to have Chris Paul healthy to close out this series. If CP3 is ready to go, if he is healthy, I expect the Suns to close out this series at home tonight. All right, time to let me know what you think. Will the Suns close out the Lakers tonight, or can LeBron James extend this series, take it back to Los Angeles for Game 7, all by himself, basically? Do you agree that the Lakers roster has zero team chemistry? Sound off in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.